Pilgrim King forms part of the Youth Fellowship ministry. Over years, a few different members started playing together in the different sections within the ministry, and eventually it became what it is today, Pilgrim King. So it's been about 4 years, I think, now, and mainly we serve in the Youth Fellowship meetings on a Saturday, and also in the 7 course and 72 courses that we organize. Here we have Gianluca, myself Clive, Chris and Alessandro. Then there's also Jacqueline, who plays keys, James as well, who plays keys, Matthew, who plays bass, Vanessa, who's backing vocals, and also Raquel, who's one of our main vocalists.
Here I stand, here I pray, thirsty for your presence here.
As much as possible, we try to create songs which are singable, easily to sing along. As soon as you hear it, we just dig into it and start praising and worshiping God.
I believe our prime mission would probably be not just to glorify God, but to embrace and to really exalt the relationship we have with Him, because I think that's something that we're missing a lot in not just the Catholic Church, but every single form of worship. It's a case that we do so well, and I think that's why we relate with a lot of the youth, is because that's what it's all about, is that relationship and killing that relationship. And the only way you relate to someone is finding common ground. And I think that's where Pilgrim King really you could say hit the sweet spot, because we don't sing archaic songs, and if we do, we try to put our own spin on it. We try to become relevant. We like to see ourselves as someone who can actually, speak to a crowd of 2017. We're not, in the past, but when we do sing the past, we recognize it, and we actually really, bring forth that joy as well. But I really think it's all about the relationship with Christ and how we can really enjoy His presence, but not just His presence, but really show them what we like to relate with Christ.
Music is probably a huge selling point. I mean, there's music in almost everything. Basically, there's music in commercials, all around us, and music is basically sold as a very attractive tool to attract even more people. And I believe that yes, the way we do music at Youth Fellowship, not just us as Pilgrim King, but also as Salt, who in the past have attracted even young crowds and even won some local awards. I believe yes, we do have the responsibility, and it's also our mission to try and attract as many youth as possible. So yes, I believe that through music we can, and we do manage to make Youth Fellowship and the whole package of starting this journey in the Christian faith more attractive.
I'm coming home where I belong, safe in your arms.
I was born and bred in South Africa, and I came to Malta, and I had something similar to this community back in South Africa, and I spent months looking for something that would actually draw me to Christ, would have this kind of relationship with it. And I found Youth Fellowship, and I walked down that ramp, I still remember, and opened the doors and heard I think it was a priest at the time, was speaking in Maltese, and I swear I ran back up because I was like, I'm not going to be able to understand anything. And I think Michael, one of the guys in community in the leadership team, he came up and he's like, no, don't worry, we've got translation. He's like, someone was coming down, I can't remember exactly, but it was lovely. But that was my first encounter. But then immediately I knew that I had to get involved. And I knew I could sing, I knew I was musically trained. So I heard the band singing, and it's like, but I can do that, And as opposed to just waiting and seeing if they'd accept me, I went straight up to Salt and I was like, listen, I'd like to be a part of the band, and they're like, okay. And they're like, wow, okay, this is a bit forward, but sure. And they auditioned me right there and then. And they were like, listen, you're not going to join our band, you're going to join the other band. So I hadn't even met Pilgrim King, but and at that time we didn't even have a name. This is another thing that we really enjoy, teasing each other about, is the fact that it took us forever to get this name, just forever. But now we love it, we absolutely love it, and we really hold it high, and So yeah, that's my experience. So if anything, it's the encounter with it, and I was just like in awe. And what I was like, I want to take part. I don't want to just sit back. And I find that's a lot with all of us. I mean, we've got so many people wanting to write covers of songs we've written. If I look at Spotify now, King of Heaven is absolutely, there's quite a lot of listens and everything, so it's beautiful. And it shows that people want to actually take part in the music. And like Chris says, it's might not be radio friendly because we are okay with saying Jesus, we're okay with saying Father God, and maybe they say, it's a bit secular, but no, we believe that it's music people take part in, and for that I think it's a blessing to be a part of something that's more than we can ever put as individuals.
We bow down to your wonder of love, oh love divine.
It's not always the same, creating music. I guess we're always in prayer, if I can say that, so, and we come together and we pray, but often it starts off with one of us having an idea, whether it's a lyric or whether it's a melody or a riff or whatever, and occasionally we come together as a team and we start working on certain ideas and we develop it slowly. So sometimes someone comes with a full song and then we just break it down and rebuild it, but it's quite a team effort, I would say. So, I think it's the beauty of it when you see the different ideas coming together and shifting things around and arranging this lyric here and there. It's quite a process. It's a good process. It's also quite a lengthy process sometimes, and it can be frustrating as well sometimes. But I think one thing we're blessed on this team is a lot of good creative ideas. We have Chris here, who's one of our unofficial producers, I would say. So, and he's really good at all this stuff.
I think most of the songs come out from the personal time of prayer, which for me it's mind-blowing, considering the fact that, if I can say that, God is inspiring us, to actually write these songs, which when you think about it, I mean, it's mind-blowing. We're still trying to finding and fine-tuning our music to people's needs at the end of the day, not to our needs, what is just cool and sounds good, but what do really people need, and how are we going to help them encounter Jesus and have a personal time with him, during their prayer time. So I think the challenge is there,
So loving, never failing. You follow me.
I've been through in many bands, so to say. I mean, and in many different genres of bands, and even singing as a solo artist in secular music. But this is completely different. When I sing in the secular scene, the music is nice, and I really enjoy it. But it kind of it's always entertainment, and that's it. Where most of the times the focus is either me or the music itself. There's no deeper meaning or deeper purpose. On the other hand, worship is it's an experience in itself. The fact that number one, it's a form of prayer. It's an encounter with God every time we get to sing a song. We get to worship in front of a crowd or alone during a rehearsal, for example. That in itself is always an encounter with God, and it's a means for God to touch ourselves, not just the people around us. Also, when we're in front of a crowd, then the experience gets even more amplified, and it's so nice to see so many people worship together and get together to pray. And it's also humbling sometimes as to how God uses us as sinners, as weak people for this mission. So that being said, the experience has indeed changed me a lot, because it's a journey through which I keep growing from day to day. And every year that we spend together, we actually realize how much we've grown as a band, but also individually. Even before we're speaking about the difference between the two albums, I think what happened in the second album is that most of us had a clear idea of what is wanted from us. So the songs were kind of more focused, more directed to the purpose that we're trying to serve, and also we kind of try to focus on the subject of mercy mostly. Yes, I mean, I think we're changing, but most of all we're growing in this area.
Definitely Poland. It wasn't the fact that we were singing to plus minus 3,000 people and they were all jumping and praising to our songs that we wrote in Clive's house, you know. It wasn't just that. That was obviously enriching, but I think we all grew I think that was the one time where we really grew as like we started calling each other family, you know. I think really you know, we started to understand each and every individual and their personalities and how their personalities fit in, as well as accepting. And I mean, on the first album, we had literally just, you know, got our name. I swear we got our name just because of the album was coming out. We needed to have something on the CD, or the EP rather. But when we were in Poland, we almost found, you know, rooting in why we call ourselves Pilgrim, you know, why we call ourselves King as well. But it was a real bonding fellowship that we ended up doing. So like John says, you know, we're here to help other people worship, but I love the fact that during Poland we actually found each other, and we found the reason why we worship and why this worship changed us as well as individuals. And I love the fact that we constantly urge the Holy Spirit to use us as vessels, and not. I mean, sometimes we even look at ourselves like, oh, are we running away with this? Are we just getting engrossed in what we want to profess and not giving the message of Christ? And I love that. I love that about us. And one of those kind of experiences really, you know, they enrich that.
You are so glorious.
Our music is available on CD in the meetings at Youth Fellowship and 7. We're on iTunes, on Spotify. It's a journey, you know, so we're seeing where we're going from time to time. So I'm sure there will be other opportunities, and we'll see as we go along where God will lead us, really.